following program on Derana 24 is classified for general audience. It is intended for all ages. It contains little or no violence, no strong language, and little or no sexual dialogue or situations. We would like to remind our viewers that the views expressed in this program by our participating guests are solely viewpoints of them who take part, and does not reflect the views and beliefs of the Derana Media Network.
Welcome down to Gen XYZ right here on Derana 24. Well, today we're going to do something very, very exciting right here on Gen XYZ. It is about entertainment. Well, quite a lot of the youth members out there in Sri Lanka want to pursue something in music. It could be dance, it could be performance. But what is the thing that we actually lack and we need to know in order to make it in the Sri Lankan industry? Well, that is exactly why we've got two individuals that I'm very excited, by the way, to have on board, and I'm quite honored to have as well. It's Dushyanth, Weeraman, and of course, Stephanie Siriwardhana. Let's go on down and have a little conversation with them and see exactly how they made it in the industry of Sri Lanka. Well, we're quite excited to have the two amazing individuals, by the way. You can call them the power couple when it comes to entertainment in Sri Lanka. It is Dushyanth, Weeraman and Stephanie Siriwardhana. Well, thank you so much for doing this right here on Gen XYZ. I know I actually usually dress differently, but today I wore a jacket on homage to you, the Sri Lankan Michael Jackson.
Oh, wow.
But
awesome. You look good.
It looks great on you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know Sri Lanka has actually appreciated you for your performance. You've changed the industry completely when it comes to entertainment, especially of just the norm of standing in front of a mic and singing. You've changed it. You've completely changed it by bringing the performance skill to it. What went about it in terms of understanding, okay, you know what, I'm not going to do the traditional thing. I'm not going to stand in front of a mic. I'm going to perform. How did that come about?
Oh, there was no thought process as such, nothing conscious to say that I'm going to be different or I'm going to be performing like this. It was just all about being inspired as a teenager by Michael Jackson. So I would always just dream about being Michael Jackson, being on stage, singing his songs. But of course, eventually I had my own songs, and all those inspirations just came alive, and I became that.
Now, I know Stephanie actually brought this up before as well, in terms of standing on tables and dancing. What was the whole thing there?
Well, no, it's not that I used to do it all the time.
In context, at school.
At school, yeah.
So during a free period, so I used to always perform for my friends, right? There was no time for it. Anytime I got the chance, I would be singing and dancing. And whenever there was a free period, I would make the teacher's table, because the largest table, right? It would be my stage, my band stand or whatever. And I would perform for my classmates. A few times I did get caught.
He's the entertainer. There's that quote that says, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah, that's me.
He finishes a gig after singing for like hours, and then he'll be like, shall we go karaoke?
Really?
And I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
but now,
passion.
I know obviously with the passion that comes with that in terms of doing Michael Jackson, okay, the moonwalk.
Yeah.
Did you sort of like practice the moonwalk, or
Of
how did
course,
that come
so
about?
many times, so much. It's just that you see this something so mesmerizing and you want to do it. You get inspired and you kind of, suddenly it clicks. You try so many things and you figure out, oh, okay, it's just the flat foot that's in drag, and you go, oh, that's just a small illusion. And then everybody goes, whoa, how do you do that? I mean, today's context is not much of a big deal.
So I've been trying. I still have not gotten it.
Yeah, that's because you're a salsa dancer.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, you got a complete different style.
So,
Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's just that it's an illusion. You just do it.
yeah. Now talking about you doing salsa dancing, do a great job, by the way. And you're the epitome when it comes to like all things talent.
Oh my
you
goodness.
sing, you dance, you're a pageant winner,
Yes.
you do it all, Why
Thank
don't you
you.
stick to like one lane? Why do you break that normal? I'm not going to stick with one lane, I'm going to do it all, Oh, why is it?
Thank
you, Dinusha. I have many interests. And I think, to be honest, ADHD plays a huge role in it. I like to think of it as my superpower. So yeah, I get hungry and I get excited. I'm very curious by nature. So when I see something I like, I want to try and I want to experience it. Because at the end of the day, before I die, I want to experience as much as I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
And
that's
you
it.
mentioned something that is a little, might be a little controversial, but in terms of like the death, right? You
Oh
obviously
yeah. So when
almost,
I was 21, I almost died, and that just changed my life. It changed my perspective on things because I was very shy. I was highly bullied, so I was a very quiet kid. And then after that experience, and I got a second chance at life, I realized the only thing that went through my head was everything I didn't
No regrets.
do. Yeah, and I don't want to regret because you never know when you're going. So you might as well, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to fail or people are going to say no. But at least you tried.
wow. And look at you now,
Yeah.
literally a big megastar. I love your singing, by the way. I love your voice. I love your
Thank
voice as well.
you.
It's like, it's brilliant. But the whole
You do
com-
wonders for our ego.
Yeah, I
Thank
do.
you. Can you come every day? Please.
Why not? I love that.
It's so good.
No, but Steph, what I wanted to ask you and Dushyanth as well, because a lot of the youth members that are watching right now as well, they aspire of wanting to be you. They aspire of wanting to be you. Like you aspire to be like Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
But bringing that whole uniqueness of being like, hey, you know what? I'm not going to be that. I'm going to bring my own twist to it, my own style to it. How do you do that?
Well, so let's start with this. Snowflakes are different, right? Every single snowflake in the world is different. So my friend and I in LA, in Montreal, we were watching the snow fall down. And we took a picture of one single snowflake and zoomed in on it. And it was so perfect. And every single snowflake is unique. And how many snowflakes are falling right now, right? So you think about it, okay? They keep falling and their lifespan is what, 4 seconds, 5 seconds? And then if so much thought by the creator, I like to say God, but whatever it is, if so much thought was put into this tiny snowflake, how perfect are you as a human being who has a life, who has a mind, can make decisions, and you are so unique. So you just need to find out who you are, love yourself, and really just have no fear. The only thing that prevents people from really being their authentic selves is the fear of judgment, fear of failure. That's there, but you can overcome it,
Did you just learn this at your master's class for business psychology? This is very philosophical.
Oh my God.
No!
No.
Maybe you should come for one of my trainings.
Yeah, awesome.
Then you would have
Good
known
answer.
this.
I love it.
You would have known this.
Yeah.
Okay, very cute. Love this whole dynamic that's going on right now as
Awesome.
well, to be honest. But I think it was a different situation for you, Dushyanth, because you came from a background of, your brother being Santosh. Everyone knew
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
But how was it for you to really find yourself unique? You were not going to do the same kind of songs. You're going to define yourself as, hey, you know what? I'm going to be this.
Yeah, the thing is, the real story is that I was never Santosh's brother before when I came in. Actually, when I came in 98 is when Bharti and Santosh released their first album, and they got very popular by around 99, 2000 with the song of Siri Sangabodhi, where at the time Santosh was in Sydney at the time, right? But by that time I had already made my name in the Colombo circuit. I had not done my originals. And for me to be Dushyanth, I had nothing to do with Santosh, right? And for me, it was just about, going out there, performing like Michael Jackson, just doing Michael Jackson songs, being like Michael Jackson, Basically, my whole world was my inspiration, my mentor, and everything would be perfect if I could be a nice human being. Because to me, Michael Jackson was just not music, it was not dance, it was not an artist. For me, he was a man of God who wants to live like Jesus, to be a nice, innocent man. And that was the inspiration. For me to be a good human being like Michael Jackson was my dream. So, whatever I did,
And you are a very good human being. I think
Thank
that's
you.
one of the things
I think
that
the inspiration comes from Michael Jackson. And
Yeah.
they, out of all these issues, that you see in the pop industry, music industry, it's very hard to find people like Michael Jackson. And even, I don't want to bring in names, but all the people whom we have been inspired by from the 1950s, right? Everyone has stolen from somebody, or it's something like that. I mean, it's okay to be inspired, but to copy and steal and do all the other things that happens in the industry, it's very hard to find good people like Michael Jackson. And I'm always thankful to God that I was, as a kid, at a time that Michael Jackson was very unpopular, where he was considered a pedophile and all of this. He was a crazy wacko jacko. I think we need to get rid of this because there was a flying going in.
That's all right.
And
Actually,
was,
I was part of that club. I didn't like his music because I believed all those rumors about him.
So when I became a performer, for me it was all about being Michael Jackson. So from there to become Dushyanth Weeraman was never my idea. But it was Santosh who came and told me one day, Ali, you are so famous and popular for doing Michael Jackson. Don't you think it's time that you you become Dushyanth? And I was like, why? Honestly, I was like, why? Because in my head, Michael Jackson is it, right? And then obviously, with time I understood, okay, if you're taking this seriously and you're considering to be a musician, a performing artist, yes, you need to start doing your own thing. That's when I started doing my music. And so that's how I became who I am today.
So obviously you had your brother to sort of inspire to be like, hey, you know what, find your own route and find your own route. But how did you find that? Because that's something that's very difficult.
Your flavor.
Your flavor, exactly. The
okay, very interesting question, because I think this happened to me naturally. I think when you find your path, when you get into that energy, right, you just flow. And your thought process is not so conscious. It's just that you're in the flow and you're in this creativity and you're just in the creation and you keep doing things that inspire you. Only thing that I had in my mind only thing I had conscious was whatever the music I was creating, I wanted to see if I would perform that well and if my audience will like my performance. So I would not look at it in my perspective. So the third perception is something I mastered. Every time I started, I created something, I was like, okay, how am I going to do this and how are they going to see it? And that I think really worked for me because, I have not done many songs, but I have about good 10 to 12 awesome songs that everybody knows, and I haven't released not more than 20.
But one is coming out very soon.
Very soon,
and it's fantastic.
Yeah. So I think that's what I think. There's no thought process as such. It's just that you're in the flow. Yeah. But I guess you just got to be true to what you're doing, and you get into it.
And is it the same with you as well, Steph, or is it completely different?
Okay, so in terms of music, so I'm releasing my own original music.
Really? Whoa, congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a process, very different to Dushanth's story. So for me, it's more about me rather than the third perception. But it is about, so my music is about my life journey, which a lot of people don't know about. And very soon, I have decided that I want to speak about it. And I think it's about mental health. It's about overcoming obstacles. It's about, so the song's called I See You.
I see you.
But it's I See You.
Love that.
It was very hard to write.
You wrote the song as well?
Yes, I wrote all my songs.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's very personal. But it's a message that I think people need to hear, because I see so many people struggling, and I want people to know, because I've been there. I've been the person who did not love myself, who was constantly reacting to life because of my traumas, refusing to look at my trauma, not jumping into the healing, but then I chose to heal. And it was a very long, terribly hard journey, but it's the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life, and I want that for people. And I think then you find out who you truly are without the trauma, without all that baggage. It's just you. And then that's when you find your flavor. Because sometimes your flavor might just be a reaction and you're just not conscious of it. So my music is very much Yeah, it's very, very personal, but at the same time, I do think people can relate to it, and I hope they'll get something from it. So it's more of a campaign kind of that'll go along with it. But yeah, that comes out in hopefully February in time for my birthday.
Really?
Yes.
Wow, I like the whole coordination of the time, but that's amazing.
Yeah.
And congratulations on getting your new music as well. That's
Oh, it
coming
was
out.
difficult, but thank you. Finally.
But obviously, I want to ask something else that's on the other side, by the way, where you say you're not secure with yourself, or you
Yes.
weren't secure with yourself.
Not at all.
But you're very laggy. You want to know who certain winners would be in the pageant winner. If you know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
the
you're
viral
talking
video.
about the nose.
Yeah.
I told you, I'm very curious.
We'll talk on the other
And
side.
very good eyesight.
Very good
To
eyesight.
catch that like that, come on. I don't know how she did it.
All right, we're in conversation with two absolutely brilliant individuals. It's Stephanie Siriwardhana and Dushyanth Weeraman. We quite know them quite homely in Sri Lanka in the music industry and entertainment industry as well. We'll talk a little bit more on the other side, but don't forget we are actually located in this beautiful place, Great Juice. It's Mango Friends located
It's a lassie,
at
by the
Kotte.
way.
Yep, it's a lassie. We've got lime juice. They've got so many varieties.
Avocado lassie. Have you had that before?
I've never had it before. It's very curious to have it.
Go for it.
So definitely stop by. Mango Friends is what it is. And with that, we're going to bounce into a short commercial break. Welcome back to Gen XYZ. Honestly, it's been quite a ball of a time hanging out with you guys because usually it's very serious and today it's like, oh, fun. I love it.
Yay.
But obviously in the previous one that we spoke about was in terms of you being very sneaky. Okay, this is an international pageant. The entire world's got their eyes on it. And you decided to be very sneaky and actually be so curious. How did you see? That's my question. You see the placard with the winner on it. And then as soon as you see it, you start spreading it around. You're like, it's her. She won it. Everyone knew it before it was announced.
Luckily, they went to a commercial break
Okay.
because I yelled it out. I was trying to tell it to Miss Singapore, Valeria, and I was like, it's Angola! And luckily, they cut to a break. I forgot I was on stage. I forgot imagine. You find out something that 6 million people want to know. You want to be the one to break the news.
How did you see it?
I mean, don't you? Do you
Story
not?
of my life.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, that again comes with confidence, right? Like you being on stage, you don't care of the 6 million people watching you. You have so much
It's
confidence.
either
to
she
think
doesn't
about
care
something
or
else.
she's just not aware.
Yeah, I think it's the second one.
Because when we used to date, right, so many years ago, I used to tell, let's not meet in public places because people are looking. And she's like, who's looking? Because we've been going like so many places and I'm very, very aware of my surroundings all the time. I'm used to it, right? And with her, I mean, I do go places and at the start when people didn't know we were dating, people used to obviously it's 10 times more. And I would feel very uncomfortable and she'd be like, she's just wondering, I'm like, do you not notice that people are looking at us? Like, who's looking? Who's looking? So,
Okay, not like that.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's confidence, right? And that's something that you have as well.
God,
You can
confidence.
do anything.
Yeah, alpha meets omega. You can that's a good way to tell with it.
Congratulations, like the dynamic, but honestly, it's confidence at the end of the day if you think about it, right? Because you have to perform different gigs, different songs as well on a daily basis, and you can't just study it overnight and then be like, okay, I'm going to perform it. Like study the words, study the song, the melody, and just go and sing. You've got to have confidence to make sure that okay, I'm going to do this while I'm performing that and this. How did you come about that? Like, how did you navigate that for yourself?
So the truth is, I struggled with confidence, but then I used to do a lot of social experiments. So
Fake
I
it till you
started
make it.
working. I started working on my psyche since
Why
the age
your
of
theory of
14.
fake it till you make it?
Yeah, and you do fake it till you make it. And I think the one that gives me the most confidence is my God.
Yeah.
God gives me everything. And I always say that. So I have these prayers that I say just before I get on stage all the time. And it's just, no matter what, even if I screw up, He loves me, and that's more than enough. So what more do I need?
I have a different theory, so I'll relate it because for people who don't have the support of God, they need some other thing. Like it's like a theory, right? For me, yeah, exactly. So what I used to do is, like, I used to think, why would people get nervous, right? So the answer I got was, okay, people get nervous thinking of the negative things that can happen. Whether I'll forget, whether I'll slip and fall, whether, so something negative will happen. So what I do is, before I go on stage, I have a look at the audience, the stage, the whole setup, and then I perform in my head more than 150 times. So what happens is, before I go on stage, I have already done my performance in various situations, various circumstances in my head, and I'm so experienced on that particular stage.
I would be tired to do that.
Because it's experience that helps you get by any problem, right? So
But
if
also
you don't have experience, do it
visualization.
in your head. Experience isn't a memory, right? So if experience is a memory, you can imagine something
And it
put,
can-
let that be your experience.
But I think practice comes into play as well.
Of course.
Right?
And also, I think the visualization process. I mean, he's never going to visualize a bad show. So I guess in a way, he's also manifesting.
I do.
Yeah.
I do visualize the problems and things like that
Oh, you
also.
do?
And I go, what would I do in that situation?
All right.
So I turn it,
Yeah.
any threat is an opportunity in my head.
Wow. Manifestation is something interesting that you mentioned as well, because like I feel like a lot of people manifest, especially the youth, right? But they don't really know how to sort of bring it to action. That is the problem there, right? So how did you bring? I'm gonna throw that question to you because I think that you had so many variations, right? You're a dancer, singer, pageant winner, everything. How did you manifest that? How did you bring it into action?
Well, manifestation is, I mean, one thing is you have to be conscious of your thoughts. That's, I think, the first step. And controlling your inner voice, because the trick behind manifestation is you need to believe it and you need to behave like you already have it. So you can't say, oh, I'm going to be a billionaire, and then in the back of your mind, like, oh, please let it happen, please, please. So that already means you're not sure it's going to happen. You're like, yeah, I'm going to be a billionaire. It is happening, And with you walk and step into that with faith, because how it works is atoms can't be seen in their true form, right? And so it's only when you observe it that it reacts to your thought process. And there is no, so whether your thought is good or bad or whatever it is, you're sending that frequency. So the minute you send that frequency of I got this, or your whatever you're directing your thought to, in this case, let's say I'm a billionaire, these atoms, the whole world, everything conspires, that quote, conspires to give you what you want, because you have you have tuned into the exact radio station where it has no option but to come to you. I mean, there are some famous examples of this doctor in Japan who did this experiment with water. A happy person freezing a glass, an angry person freezing a glass. The angry person's glass comes in little shards.
Really?
So,
Wow.
so he did nothing but hold the water, put it in the freezer. Shards. Because he's angry, that energy. Same thing, the happy person, perfect snowflakes. So the world is reacting to you. So we have to be so conscious of what we're really putting out there. And that's why when you stub your toe in the morning, you're like, oh, it is a bad day. Whew, I got it. Sorry. The whole day is bad,
Yeah.
So it's to put it into action, try to be more conscious of your thoughts. Practice affirmations. I have some affirmations on my mirror that I look at, and I look myself in the eyes and I say that every day. And just kind of listen on what it is you truly want, and just keep repeating that yourself, but try to visualize. Use what Dushyanth said. Visualize you already having that, and then feel how your body feels when you have what you want. And then you'll be manifesting it because you're living the experience of having it. So you're attracting it into your life. There can't be doubt.
I actually believe that to be honest, and to a mega extent,
Yeah.
because when it comes to the frequency, right?
Yeah.
Whatever you exhibit is
Yeah.
what you actually get in return. Like
Yeah.
if you don't put that out, if you put something negative, you're going to get something negative as well. in return.
Manifestation
So you know-
is 24/7. You and I are manifesting even right now. We are in a certain energy, and that's what's vibrating. What we get is what we are. We can't ask for something and suddenly it won't come. If we are, universe will give you for what you are, not for not what you
Can I?
think.
So
Yeah.
I told you, right, I was extremely insecure and scared and shy and all of that stuff. So I used to do social experiments. So when I used to go dancing, one night I would let all my insecurities consume me, and I'm like, I'm the worst dancer, I don't look good, no one asked me to dance. And in fact, nobody asked me to dance. So then the next day I was like, okay, let's pretend that I am the most beautiful woman and I believe that I'm the best dancer. I didn't get off the dance floor. So then I started alternating the same feeling, like different feelings throughout the same night. And you'll see everyone reacts differently. Like the minute you're letting your insecurities come, no one asked me to dance. The minute I didn't, everybody did. So why don't you experiment it? I mean, you should tell them to. I'll tell you, try and experiment with it in your own life, and see. There's so much truth to it.
And that's how you basically bring it into action as
And
well.
that's how you bring it into action.
But on the circumstance
Like,
of
play with it.
everyone bringing in the action to that step, I feel like the problem there, especially in Sri Lanka right now, is the fact that it's not the manifestation, it's not the real artistry that actually comes to it. It's more like the popularity. Okay, if this is trending number one, this is what I'm going to do. Whether it's exposing your skin, whether it's, this is what I want to do. You're
I think
not
that's
gonna be a
lack of awareness. The thing is, you lose your awareness if you're always getting attracted to what is just around your surrounding, and if you're getting manipulated. Being aware is that you know your surroundings and you know what causes what is in your surrounding. So if you're watching news, or if you're hanging out with your friends, all those circumstances that you're in, if you're in this state of mind where a consciousness is there, where you go, why? The question why is there, you're always understanding the reason for your circumstances. So when you understand the reason for your circumstances, you don't easily get influenced by it. So you don't become just trendy. Your creativity is not just trendy or just because someone else is doing. Because you understand why they are doing it, now you go, I need to do that. This is my creation. Then you become creative and not just influenced by all the lies that's surrounding
You're not
you.
just going wherever the wind takes you, and for that you need identity. So for identity, you ask, who am I? Like the hardest question to answer, who am I? And like figure out like all these beliefs you have about yourself. Some could be unconscious beliefs, fake beliefs that you've had, wrong beliefs. Just question them. Just take some time, at least once a year or twice a year, to just take stock of who you are. Like, I believe I am XYZ, and then like, hang on, am I really XYZ? When did I believe that I was XYZ? Okay, oh no, actually I made an assumption that I'm X, but I'm actually not. So you get to know who you are, and once you know who you are and your identity, then you won't just be carried away with everything. You will kind of know what you want, and no matter what trend is going, I mean, that's important, right? That awareness, like Dushyanth said.
Thank you so much for actually saying that, because I feel like everyone watching in right now as well really needed to hear that, because the sad part is, even though you like it or not, the trend is what
I think
sells.
it's still,
Sadly, that is what's happening,
even
right?
for
in Sri Lanka,
us,
which-
even at this stage of my life, I still ask my question: am I still doing what I want to do? Is there what do I want to do? I mean, that question will always be there, because honestly, I feel there is no purpose to life. We got to figure it out. Because if you really go into the depth of all the creation and all those things, the beginning and ending, and if this was all creation of God or whatever, why did even God create it? What is His purpose? If the devil is always doing all these bad things to us, what's his purpose? Why is he stirring things up? And why do we have to ask for a better life? And what is the purpose for God, it just becomes very, very complicated. But if you just go into the state of where, oh, I need to be joyful. I need to figure out, how I can pass time, how I can pass life, not so complicated, and and one day be, happy and just joyful. And the word is joy for me, right? So just don't get it so complicated, because how much you seek, like Buddha said, you might not it's too complicated, you might not find the right answer. But be aware of the situation, because the more you try to seek, the more suffering it is, right? So if you think this is my purpose in life, this is how I am, I need to find all of that. Yes, it will give you some sort of thing for a short period of time, but that's very, very temporary, because we live for whatever the number of years. These questions keep changing, right? But we just need to learn to live life
Okay,
joyfully.
I agree with some of
I know
what
you
you
won't.
said.
I know you wouldn't
But
agree. Of course you
I
wouldn't
do
agree.
believe all of us have a purpose. There's a reason
Absolutely.
why we're here.
Yeah, that's good.
And I think, yes, we have to be joyful, but you're special. You're here because you're meant to be here. You're meant to be
what I was
drinking
going
your
to say.
juice. Which you're not.
I don't want to confuse people. Yes, in the big picture, there may not be a purpose, right? But don't be lost because of that, because we need to figure out a purpose and live within those limitations and be joyful.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Find your purpose.
Yeah.
Find
Search
your
for
purpose.
it.
Yeah, that's the
Find your
purpose.
Yeah, find your purpose.
Yeah,
But in
your
reality,
purpose.
there's no purpose.
There is.
there is.
There is.
Big picture? Nope.
There is a purpose.
Trust me.
Oh my god.
Drink a
okay.
juice. Now juice again.
But something else that I actually wanted to throw at you as well,
Yeah.
which I want you to specifically answer this,
Okay.
because I think it's a lot of the girls in Sri Lanka
Okay.
that when they want to sort of be, entertainers, the norm in Sri Lanka is going to be, especially amongst the parents, they're going to be like, oh no, I'm not going to let my daughter go in front of TV, I'm not going to let her do this and whatnot, because it's not safe.
Yeah,
It
100%.
is not safe at all. How did you get the support system? How did you break that norm? And what would you want to tell the youth members as well that want to pursue it, but they can't do it because, they themselves are scared that they might actually fall victim to predators and whatnot,
So that's a very, it happens. It happens, and you have to be so careful. We live in a dangerous world, and unfortunately there are traumatized people, because it's always abused people who become abusers most of the time. So educate yourself, and be emotionally intelligent, learn how to read body language so that you understand how to read people, for you to understand whether you're in a safe space or not. Have your values and principles. Have some rules and guidelines for how you are going to execute your entertainment journey, like, until what time will I stay out, until will I travel, if I travel, do I travel alone? Try and put as many safety measures as possible, because as a woman, yes, you do have that. Also, don't feel pressure. I know women tend to feel that you have to show a lot of skin to be popular. You don't. Don't feel all these pressures. Be you, but try and put as many safety mechanisms and structures in place to protect yourself. So that would be timings, people who's around you. Like, I know some people always have an assistant with them. Sometimes, unfortunately, when you travel abroad, you can bring a +1 or you cannot. Think
I
about
think
these
your
things.
principles.
Your principles.
You need to have
and
your principles.
have those, will I stay? Like, after an event, I never stay. I go. I do not socialize after. I go straight home. So that's been a policy I have, and it has served me so well. I do not, no matter how much people will be like, please stay, enjoy this, enjoy that. No, sorry, thank you so much. And it's so good, huh? Why have you not drunk yours?
I will be drinking it. I'm definitely drinking it. I
Right.
just wanted to, ask you a little bit
What
about
it
There's
is?
a fly
Yes.
now.
Sorry.
controversial question there is because when you say you don't stay back after events, that's important in entertainment as well. Connections,
Yeah.
contacts.
Just go karaoke. Don't go.
No, you can socialize. Okay, listen. There are a few things. Now, when I'm a host, yeah, okay, I don't really go and socialize. I'm not a very social person, to be honest. It's just me. Yes, networking is important, but there are places to network. You don't need to network all the time. You don't need to be switched on 24/7, if you know what I mean. Find out who you need to network with, get to those events, and then network. But safety comes first, and if you feel safe, then please go ahead. I mean, you have your own structures. I'm just telling you things I've done. And yeah, I mean, I have a good network. It hasn't served me in a
In a
negative
negative way, yeah.
is what
yeah,
I'm saying.
Yeah. I love that, honestly.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you so
hasn't
much.
served me in a bad way.
In a bad way,
Yeah.
yeah. We'll talk a little bit more on the other side as well, because I want to dig deep on a different topic on basic things, because I think we had a really deep conversation about frequency, manifestation, soul, spirituality and stuff, which is very important when it comes to entertainment, right? So thank you so much for doing that. And with that, we'll jump into a short commercial break right here on Gen X YZ. Welcome back to Gen X YZ right here on Other Derana 24. Well, we're in conversation with two absolutely brilliant individuals. We've grown up with them, we've loved them, and we still love them. But I think the unique aspect for them is the fact that they've lasted in the music industry for a very long time. It's not easy in the music industry. I feel like that the both of you can agree as well. How is it that, Dushyanth, I'm going to ask you this question actually, because you've been in the industry for a long time.
20 years.
20 years. You revamped
My
yourself.
first song, Panas, and it was in 2004. So it's 20 years.
2004.
Yeah.
I was 3. But
I was
honestly,
13.
You're 13?
Yeah, so it's fine.
Seriously? Nice.
No.
I'm joking. No, but honestly, how do you sort of think of, okay, I'm going to revamp myself with a new album, another new album, I'm going to change myself. How do you keep revamping and changing things? Because entertainment, the same thing that you do, is going to go stale. People want things that are new. So how do you change that?
Oh boy. Seriously, I don't know at the moment. Even I'm experimenting a lot of things.
I think that's the answer. Experiment.
Yeah, I'm experimenting a lot of things. I mean, honestly, I think creativity just comes from above. You get into it, you just open your canvas and you just go into it, and whatever that happens. And I truly believe luck, good energy, whatever the energy, it has a lot to do with it. There's always a time for you, and you don't know when the time is. So just keep on doing whatever you do. Whenever it's going to be successful, it'll be successful. There is no, you can come up with all sorts of formulas and saying this is how we do it, the distribution, the production, all these things. But when it comes to, I think creativity is the purpose for God, if I would say. If there was any purpose for God...
I'm going to cut you off there a little bit, because you said experimenting is actually what you do when it comes to, revamping yourself, giving something new. But what if the experiment fails? What if it doesn't
Then you
work?
experiment something else.
Yeah, if I fail, I fail.
I mean, the world is full of things to experiment with. You
My
can never
life
run
shouldn't
out.
be dependent on whether I am successful or not, right?
Yeah, and
I
what
think
is
that's something that's very
you know what
interesting.
you know what you should ask him. What is success? I think it's so interesting when you.
Yes.
I mean, no, because he has a very nice answer.
On success,
Yes,
yeah.
because I think success is something that
Oh, sorry, I asked it for you.
other people perceive. Do you want to ask me?
No, I'm good. But
Okay.
I actually want to twist it a little bit, to be honest,
Right,
because
sure.
I don't want to base it on success, right?
Right.
The thing is, everyone wants success. Everyone wants success. You want
Yeah.
success, I want success, everyone watching wants success as well. But to get there is hard. It has a lot of falls.
Yeah.
But then coming out of the fall is the challenge. How do you navigate with that? Because that's what I wanted to say with experiments as well.
So this is my formula. So when I have a difficult question, right, I ask why. The question is, why do people want to be successful? Then you come down to understanding success is something that is perceived from somebody outside your world, and you want to satisfy them in their eyes. You want to be successful because you can't call yourself successful. It's only you can judge me as to a successful person or not, because I still might not be successful in my head if I'm not satisfied. So how I look at it is, we only know how to satisfy ourselves. We know our limits. Either we are satisfied, dissatisfied. If it's little bit over, we are delighted. And if it's complete underperform, we are like destroyed. Right? That is what it is. But how do we control success when success is somebody else's perspective? So the question is, why do I want to be successful in somebody else's eye? I think you're getting the answer now.
I am, yeah. I mean, that's very interesting. But is it the same with you as well? Do you angle it? Because I know there's going to be a lot of downfalls, right? Especially you being in dancing, music, you do events, you do so many things. At one point, you're going to have a tumble.
Yeah.
And when you have the tumble, coming out of it is the thing that everyone has a problem with, especially Sri Lankans, because they don't have the guts to be like, you know what, I'm going to flaunt it. I did a mistake. I'm going to flaunt it with, flying colors and come out of it stronger. That is the problem I think we all have.
You have to rise. You have to rise from it. Like, I mean, I always like to say, like, when I fall, okay, I fell.
Yeah.
So I have two options. I stay down, I cry about it, and I'm going to be in the state of unhappiness. Or I give myself a deadline. Okay, you can stay down and cry on yourself for about, I don't know, a day, 2 days, 1 hour, you decide. And then after that, alarm goes off. Time to pick up, time to go up. And time to just, reinvent yourself, explore, experiment. You have to have these rules of living, these boundaries that you put on yourself and on others. And then I think if you take everything as an experience, because I don't believe in regretting anything. I don't believe in regret at all. Because I do believe, one, everything happens the way it's meant to happen. And there's a reason for everything. And two, whatever bad happens, you can make something good out of it. It's just your perception. At the end of the day, perception is projection. So that's really,
Wow, I like that one. I mean, I see that both of you perform as well quite a lot, right? When you go to Italy, you guys fly all over the world and you perform together. Can I get a little bit of a small piece, a cappella? Would that be a possibility from the both of you? Any song, anything, the both of you, because you have a beautiful voice too. Any song?
What do you want to sing?
Sarangani.
Yes.
Sarangani. Sarangani Tamalagana.
Sure, why not?
I'm not going to be part of this.
I think one song that you guys sing really well is the Elton John song, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Elton John?
Some song that you guys sing. It's a very old Elvis or something. I don't know.
Elvis.
Oh, yeah. Can't Help Falling in
Oh,
Love.
there you go.
Or Parla Più Piano.
Okay.
That's nice. You know the Godfather theme song?
Yeah.
Are you
Before
just
we go to
saying
that, can I just say
it?
something about why people want to be successful? It's the insecurity. So that's in case somebody did not get that, just put it in there. Because I don't want to leave someone thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Right. Okay.
And you can work on that.
Yeah.
You just
when you know it's insecurity, you can work on that.
You can always.
Then you don't need to always chase success. That's the thing.
And you'll be content within yourself.
Yeah.
Move on.
And he's like, can you guys sing now? Please stop talking. I'm asking you to sing.
Wise men
I thought we didn't Parla Più Piano.
Okay. Parla più piano e nessuno sentirà. Il nostro amore lo viviamo io e te. Nessuno sa la verità. È un amore mai più grande esisterà.
Insieme a te io resterò, amore mio, sempre così.
Parla più piano, vieni più vicino a me. Voglio sentire gli miei dentro di te. Nessuno solo verità. È un amore mai più grande. Esisterà.
Okay. I was like, should I go on?
Wow, no, wow, oh my God, that was, wow.
Oh, thank
I
you.
can't even wow.
She's such a good audience. Like, I
Honestly,
said, we
it's
need
so
him on.
good, like, I
I
can't
thought
even
you'd ask
fathom
me to
it.
sing a Michael Jackson song.
Yeah.
I was,
Yeah,
you want to go for it?
You should.
You should.
No, do
Thriller.
No, I don't want to do Michael Jackson.
Beat it.
No way.
You don't want to do it?
No, I don't
You
want
are not alone.
Next question, please.
All right, I absolutely love it, honestly.
Okay.
Thank you so much. The most fun I've actually had on Gen XYZ, to be honest.
Really?
All through and through. So I
Really?
love the dynamic.
Who
I
are
love
those
everything
boring
that's going
people
through.
you interview usually?
Dude.
Okay.
Okay, so love the talent, honestly, lovely voice as well.
Thank you.
And I think the both of you have actually got quite a good dynamic. You guys are gonna really inspire quite a lot of people watching in right now as well who wants to sort of pursue music.
Hope so.
And definitely, hands down, I'm gonna vouch and say people are gonna be inspired by that. And thank you so much.
I'm glad.
And it's a different language too. Like, whoa. I was like, whoa, but really good. And where do you see Dushyanth, to be honest? Where do you see yourself maybe? Because you have this whole connotation of I change myself, I experiment. Where do you
Yes.
see yourself in the next, let's say, 5 years?
I don't know.
I knew you were going to say something like that.
don't
you
know.
know,
I really
I knew you were
don't
going to
know.
say something like that.
But I know I'm on a good path where I feel very, I have a lot of positive energy in me. I feel like I ain't chasing no more. So I feel like there's God always. I'm a Buddhist. I'm a Buddhist, and but still I have come to understand what is to have God and what is God. It's a very difficult concept to understand when you grow up as up to an adult not believing in God. It's absolutely difficult to understand the concept of it. So I'm in a place where after seeking for so many years, I've understood, oh, this is what it is. So karma, God, it's the same thing, just defined differently. So I'm in a place where I have come to a bit of a in a good space where I feel.
And you're open to life.
Yes, it's something that like we spoke about, like most things that we spoke about. So it is to be aware and be conscious and in sync with my conscience, rather always being void about things. I'm not chasing too many things. I do want to take care of my day-to-day stuff. I'm not using the word content because that kind of brings a limitation and to the excitement you can have in life.
Yeah.
Because being content can
It's
be
not-
boring.
yeah,
Can be
yeah,
boring. You need to learn to bring in that excitement to your life while being aware, not to be chasing and suffering.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. Is it going to be the same with you as
No.
well? No, it's going to be a different answer.
It's the opposite.
What would you say? Like, where do you see yourself and what have you manifested for the next 5 years?
So I am working on some amazing projects, specifically with the Infinite Grace Foundation, which I founded. And so I will be seeing a lot of people, hopefully not just in Sri Lanka, but internationally transforming as well. I feel like that's my purpose, to help people love themselves and transform into the people they want to be, and just give them the power and let them know that it's time for them to step into their innate power to make their dreams a reality. Like for me, that makes me the happiest. So in 5 years from now, I think, I will be having this beautiful network around the world where I will help so many people. And I think for me, that's my dream.
I can already see it, that you've actually achieved so much already in your life as well, the both of you. And together, you're doing it together, which is absolutely beautiful, to be honest. And thank you so much for really doing this right here on Gen XYZ. It's been such a pleasure for me, such an honor
Thank
to be
you for
seated
coming
next
to
to
my
you.
friends and doing this with us.
Of course,
Yeah,
of
thank
course.
you for
By the
doing
way,
it.
talking about it, I'm going to let you enjoy the dessert you've got as well.
It's
because
avocado fluff.
An
An
avocado
avocado
It's my
cloud.
recipe.
Actually, he
Okay.
makes it.
Okay.
I think
It's my recipe.
Nice, lovely.
So
This is Mango Friends is exactly where we are, and this is a wrap right here on Gen XYZ. Don't forget, if you do miss out on an episode, we are available on youtube.com/otherthaneninglish. And with that, we'll be back with a different episode and a different flavor right here on Gen XYZ.
They told him, don't you ever